So, Jon Stewart made some jokes about the upcoming presidential election. And he made fun of Trump for being old, which is fine. But he also made fun of Biden, which you just can't do. You can't make fun of Biden because he's perfect. He's the best president we've ever had. And this guy says it right here. Sorry, Jon Stewart, but this is both sides false equivalence horse crap. Daily Show is supposed to cut through the media's dishonesty, not parrot it. We will not be watching. This is a comedy show. This isn't news. That's not what this is supposed to be.
And it is not crazy to think that the oldest people in the history of the country to ever run for president might have some of these challenges. Now, Democrats will say that any criticism like this, especially of Biden, is unfair because you just don't know Biden like they know Biden.
Yeah, you should see these comments, which I'm gonna show you after this is over.
President Biden, who I've been around numerous times just in this last year, is sharp, he's focused, he's bright.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his...
Notice how they keep repeating the same words, because they're just getting the same talking points using the same phrases. They get all their information from the same people, and they don't care.
Game, who knows what's going on.
He's smart. He's on his game.
I was in almost every meeting with the president, and the president was in front of and on top of it all, coordinating and directing leaders who are in charge of America's national security, not to mention our...
That worries me, actually. He was directing them. These are leaders that control America. Yeah. That feels gross.
Allies around the globe.
Did anyone film that? Because if you're telling us behind the scenes he is sharp and full of energy and on top of it and really in control and leading, you should film that. That would be good to show to people instead of a TikTok where he goes, we see he's in charge. You see, I like cookies. Of course, when it comes to Republicans, they've got a different strategy for their 77-year-old
I don't know. I don't know what these subtitles are doing.
First of all, Donald Trump is not an old man.
He's an old man!
All right, Carrie Lake, what was that? I don't really like her, but she's better than most Democrats.
He is objectively an old man on a
True.
human scale. Trump is objectively old. If he was a tortoise, I would tell him as a tortoise at 77, oh, young man, go off and enjoy college. But he's not a tourist. He's not a tortoise. That is not being ageist. That is being human lifespanist. One thing we know for certain is this. We have two candidates who are chronologically outside the norm of anyone who has run for the
I wish he would have said chronologically challenged.
presidency in this country, in the history of this country. They are the oldest people ever to run for president, breaking by only 4 years the record that they set. The last time they ran, they are at the age, they are objectively old. They're at the age, there are no more age-related milestones to hit. They got the AARP card. They've got Social Security. They've got their movie discounts. There is no, oh, wait till you hit 88, you get to drink and drive. No! The only thing left to them is a Today Show Smuckers shout-out. You know what? I think we've got a new name for our election coverage. Indecision 2024 Antiques Roadshow. All right. Look.
That's a good one. Pretty good.
We're not suggesting neither man is vibrant, productive, or even capable. But they're both stretching the limits of being able to handle the toughest job in the world.
I think that they're both absolute shit at it, and Donald Trump just happened to know some business to do a little bit of good, but fucked everything else up in the process, and was just fighting everybody. He was just rude, and I don't care, but that's, I mean, you gotta like mold yourself to be a little bit what other people want you to be, even if you don't do the things they want you to do. You just got to like be polite, man. When you're trying to get people on your side and get people to do things you want to do, you got to know how to negotiate. It's not just all business, because it's I don't know, man. I don't like Donald Trump. I think the way he conducts politics is like a business, and I don't think that works for everybody, especially like people like me who don't care for money and don't really care about making a lot of money. Donald Trump is good for people who make a lot of money. And Biden, he's not even the leader. Somebody's in his, he's a puppet. Somebody's controlling from behind the scenes. And I think it's a hierarchy controlling him. I don't think it's just like one person or a group of people. I think there's one person is being controlled by 3 people, is being controlled by 10 people, is being controlled by 30 people. And then those 30 people and all the whole hierarchy control everything as one big conglomerate of just money making schemes, pretty much. Money laundering. It's all money laundering.
What's crazy is thinking that we're the ones, as voters, who must silence concerns and criticisms. It is the candidate's job to assuage concerns, not the voter's job not to mention them. And look, I'm not trying to be cruel. I didn't want to have to do this on my first date. Come over here. Look at me. Look what time hath wrought.
How old is he? Like 55?
Give the kids a treat of the lunar surface here. Look at this. I'm like 20 years younger than these. This. Look at this. They wish.
Right.
Here's the truth. And if you think like, oh, 20 years isn't that long, this is me 20 years ago.
If Jon Stewart's going to keep bashing all of the parties and all of their leaders equally, I'm on board.
Yeah. I agree. And perhaps it was my mistake for sleeping in a meat dehydrator. Look, Joe Biden isn't Donald Trump. He hasn't been indicted as many times, hasn't had as many fraudulent businesses, or been convicted in a civil trial for sexual assault, or been ordered to pay defamation and had his charities disbanded, or stiffed a shit ton of blue-collar tradesmen he'd hired. Should we even get to the grab the pussy stuff? Probably not. But the stakes of this election don't make Donald Trump's opponent less subject to scrutiny. It actually makes him more subject to scrutiny. If the barbarians are at the gate, you want Conan standing on the ramparts, not chocolate chip cookie guy. So what's the good
Makes a
news?
good point. I would definitely rather have Trump than Biden, but I really don't want Trump. That's why I'm going for RFK at the moment, if I even go for anybody. Because it's hard to find anybody who aligns with an anarchist.
That was not rhetorical framing. I'm literally asking you. Look, the next 9 months or so And maybe
What
more
was
than
that joke?
Mark's not chocolate chip cookie guy. So what's the good news?
What is it? What is the good news?
That was not rhetorical framing. I'm literally asking you. Look, the next 9 months or so, and maybe more than that depending on the coup schedule, they're gonna suck. You're gonna be getting emails with insane subject lines like, "Hello, John, it's Chuck Schumer. Donald Trump is right behind you with a knife. Don't it?" You're going to get inundated with robocalls and push polls and real polls, and people are going to tell you to rock the vote and be the vote and vote the vote and finger bang the vote. And it's all going to make you feel like Tuesday, November 5th is the only day that matters. And that day does matter. But man, November 6th ain't nothing to sneeze at, or November 7th. If your guy loses, bad things might happen, but the country is not over. And if your guy wins, the country is in no way saved. I've learned one thing over these last 9 years, and I was glib at best and probably dismissive at worst about this. The work of making this world resemble one that you would prefer to live in is a lunch pail job, day in and day out, where thousands of committed, anonymous, smart, and dedicated people bang on closed doors and pick up those that are fallen and grind away on issues till they get a positive result. And even then, have to stay on to make sure that result holds. So the good news is, I'm not saying you don't have to worry about who wins the election. I'm saying you have to worry about every day before it and every day after, forever. Although, on the plus side, I am told that at some point, the sun will run out of hydrogen.
And that day couldn't come sooner. So let's check out some of these crazy ass comments. Elon Musk, balance and humor return. I'm gonna give that a like. I love John, but if he's gonna bash Biden, I'm not watching. Well, then don't watch. I'll probably be watching here on X. Biden's age is the lowest hanging fruit of comedy right now. Maybe John's rusty and not up to the challenge. Oh, there's gonna be more. This is just the first episode. And the closer it gets to the end of this season, the more unhinged he's gonna be, and the more angry and the more ranty. Wow, so you basically say because Biden is old, he is basically as bad as Trump. Look into what his family does and what he has done and all of the lies that he's told. Just look through everything that the right says about Biden. Most of it's true. Look through everything that the left say about Trump. Most of it is questionably true, but has inklings of truth. They like to add things and blow things out of proportion, but the right, I don't know. They like to focus on ridiculous points of the truth. Also, Donald Trump invited Putin to start World War III. Yeah, but isn't Biden pretty much trying to start World War III by poking Russia? This is exactly the kind of both sides nonsense from your era people were afraid you were going to do when you came back. Okay. Helping fascism isn't funny. #pass. Is Jon Stewart still the right person to host The Daily Show? Yes. The comedy vet makes his return to the desk he left in 2015 this evening, but his both sides are equally bad approach may not translate to 2024. Are these fans of Trevor Noah? Or the guy, whoever was before him? Because he didn't do so good. And he was basically just passed around to different organizations for his funny clips, but watching the show, it was insufferable. He was just not very funny, and he didn't know what was going on. He lied a lot. He was doing a bunch of leftist talking points. Jon Stewart is a real Democrat from like 80s, 90s era. I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says, but dude is funny. And dude makes a lot of good points. And I don't think he's evil. And I don't think that he lies. And I think that he does read up on what he's talking about.